Yek'eyuqsatini lltakatiuhan xtiuqajatetiqonajaya uch in tlengetiuqatangi xtutultuwu ya yekitso. Good to see you guys. Thank you for coming here. I feel really grateful that we can study Lingit together today as well. And it's Thursday, October 2nd. Shirley's traveling, so you're with me today. And I already shared the slides, so those are in the chat if you want. But let's go ahead and get started. So welcome to our lunch sessions. A few announcements. Today we begin a new month, and so I'll be going over our October schedule with you all. Um, we'll spend some time on that today. Another announcement that since Shirley's traveling through next week, you'll be with me today, and then also Tuesday and Thursday next week. And then after that, we're going to take a scheduled break. So the week of October 14th to 16th is the annual convention of the Alaska Federation of Natives. And Shirley and I like to schedule a break from class during that time so that people can either attend or follow on live stream, and not have to worry about jumping on a Zoom meeting. So I'll remind you again next week, but the week after next, we'll have a break. So today we'll do our Q&A discussion. Already have a good question about greetings, so we'll talk about that a little bit today. After we go over the October schedule, we had a request for counting, so we'll start that. And then Shirley and I put together our next few lines for the knock knock dialogue, and we're going to start stringing that into a conversation. Before we jump in, you guys mentioned about numbers and counting, and we shared this resource. Has anyone had a chance to check out counting on the beginning Thingat workbook? Yeah, awesome. So we'll be doing that today. I like to do just a few numbers at a time, so we'll start that. And then our question was, how do you say how are you doing, and how do you respond that I'm good? So I'll put just a couple examples on the board for us to practice. So let's do this one. Let's get rid of this guy. And the question is, how are you? I'm going to teach you how to say it to one person and then also how to say it to multiple people. So if we have Wasa Iati is how are you? And if you let's translate it. I know a singular person, so how are you talking to one person? I put this S in brackets to note that it's meant for a singular person audience, just one person. So let's practice this one. Repeat after me this last word, iati.
ERT,
Uh, that one means you are. So again, repeat after me, iati.
ERT,
Okay. Uh, Word order in Tlingit is different from English, and so I'll show you a simplified breakdown of what goes where. So if we have this last word means you are, put it here, make it a lot bigger than maybe. Okay. You are. And then the first part is lets you know it's the how question. So if we put it right underneath. Shirley's mentioned this in class before to us about punctuation versus question words. And so the whole phrase wasa iati is how are you? Um, but the order would be wasa is how. The way you know you're being asked a question is this particle sa. So repeat after me. Sa.
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 Good. And then to make it specifically a how question, you add this wa. So let's do these two words. Repeat after me. Wasa.
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 Good. And then you are iati.
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 Ah. And let's do the whole phrase. Wasa iati.
Wasa
Wasa.
iati.
Iati.
Okay. Even though two people are talking at the same time, it's totally fine. I can hear you both, so don't be shy about just repeating. It's fine if everyone goes at the same time. And let's do it one more time. Wasa iati.
Wasa. Iati.
Wasa iati.
Okay. And so if you want to respond to this, I'll give you one possible response if you're doing good. And I think we should keep adding if one day you're tired, let's add I'm tired, or if one day something's going on, you want to talk about it, let's do that. So, but we'll start with a simple I'm okay, nothing's wrong. Oops, and then I would just do I don't not or negative. Um, Masa. I don't know how to translate this one literally. This whole phrase means I'm okay or nothing's wrong. This would be a common conversational response if you're doing just fine. And so we do use these two words at the end now. Repeat after me. Wasa.
Wasa.
Uh, and this first word is lets you know that it's making a negative sentence, so it's not like nothing's wrong. And the sound is klesh. So repeat after me. Klesh.
Kesh.
Good. And the whole phrase. Kleshwasa.
Keshwasa.
Wasa.
Okay, good. Back to the question. Wasa iati.
Wasa. Iati.
Wasa iati.
Okay. And then the response. Kleshwasa.
Keshwasa.
Lesh. Wasa.
Good. And I promised you I would teach you both forms for if you're asking one person singular as well as multiple people. So if you're talking to multiple people, um, you would change this part. Instead of ia, you're going to say ye, yeah. So let's do the English part first. We're changing this to a P for plural. And then I want to say, how are you all? How you all are would be the literal breakdown of the order. And so first one, let's practice the one we just already did for one person. Wasa iati.
Wasa. Iati.
Wasa iati.
Okay. And then if you're addressing multiple people, wasa yati.
Wasa iati.
Wasa. Iati.
Okay. Good job. And then a response. Cheshwasa.
Lesh. Wasa.
Keshwasa.
Good job. You guys sound good. Okay.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
The wasa that we say in both the question and the answer. Now, in the
Mm-hmm.
question, you explained that it means how and a question. But in the
Mm-hmm.
answer, what does it mean?
I don't know. That's a good question. I need to ask Shirley because that's the first time I ever wondered that even. How come it's wasa? The way Shirley translated this to me was nothing's wrong, like as the whole phrase.
Right,
Um,
yeah. I'm just
it
always trying to break it down the to every particle, so that's
yeah.
what I was.
Uh, I think it's shortened for teshwasa ute, which ute is a negative form of yati. So it's kind of
Mm,
like saying nothing is happening or there's nothing. Teshwasa
mm.
ute. Teshwasa is short for that. So just to give you that insight that it's a shortened phrase.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Kunashchish.
Uh, and Tammy, I see you want the workbook link in the chat, so I'm just gonna drop that in there for you.
Gunashish.
Uh, and I'm actually gonna take you there as well. This is where the link will take you to an online uploaded workbook. And to download it, if you're not familiar yet, you just push this download button. It's a downward pointing arrow over a flat bracket. That's how you'll download it. I'm going to drop this link in the chat. And let's see, when am I going to show you counting? We'll do that before the dialogue. Let's see, did we cover everything? Oh, I still have to do the schedule. Do the schedule and then we'll spend time in that book today when we do counting. So for October, here we are. It's October 2nd, and this month we'll be focusing on counting as well as the formal self-introduction. Since a few people in this class are hoping to learn the formal self-introduction, we're going to incorporate it into our knock knock dialogue. So if you're already familiar, we'll be adding more phrases for you to be learning as well. Um, but yeah, so today is October 2nd. We're doing our schedule overview. Um, we'll do some discussion about the dialogue. We'll practice the phrases that we learned for I'm bringing you berries. I'm going to talk a little bit more about things Shirley asked me to pass on to us. Um, we'll do a couple lines at a time to turn this like knock knock, who's there? It's me, I brought you berries, to transition us, bring us toward the self-introduction. So today we'll learn wasa atune and gude sayani gut. So those will be our two new phrases for today. Um, and then we'll talk about, like I said, about counting. Uh, Next week, Tuesday, October 7th, we'll do our review, and then our new lines will be tell me what you're studying. And then the person at the door will say, I'm learning how to introduce myself. Continue counting. Next week on Thursday, Shirley will still be absent, but we'll meet together. Um, we'll have a discussion about the formal self-introduction. In Tlingit, and the two new lines will be in Tlingit, I am called, and your Tlingit name, and then also in English, I am called, and your English name. Do a little more counting. Uh, and then the next couple weeks, we'll be reviewing the self-introduction, introducing our clan, what clan house we come from, if you come from a clan house. who your father's people are. So I'm child of the, and then the line for thank you. And and then of course after you give your formal self-introduction, you translate it into the language of your audience. And so we'll do that as well. And that'll be our main focus for October. But just like I said earlier, October 14th and 16th, we won't have class. So we'll have a scheduled break that week. Yeah, any questions about the schedule? Awesome. Good question. Okay, review the dialogue. Okay, so let's revisit this knock knock dialogue. Um, Shirley asked me to share with you all that the knock knock dialogue was designed so that we can talk to each other. Of course, we did a topic about berries for I'm bringing you berries because that's a topic that we had just finished talking about berry picking. But we don't want that to be limiting people. So you can add anything you want to this line. You can add bread, you can say you brought fish, other foods you know. You can say I put bananas in it. So if there are other phrases you know, we want you to be creative and ambitious and just have fun with this dialogue and kind of get in the mindset of like fill in the blank with something you know. And then along that lines, if there's something you want to know how to say that you would normally bring to somebody, we can work on that so that you have that language. But yeah, have fun with this. Any questions so far? Okay, let's do a little review and then we'll work on our next lines. So person A goes knock knock. Next person, person B who lives in the house says, "Who is that?" So repeat after me. Adu sawa.
Abu Sawa.
Wa.
Good. And then person A announces their name and says, repeat after me, Aya.
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 Yeah.
Okay. So put your name in the blank. I'm gonna say Nila Toga. That's my Khoisan name. But put your name here and then say Aya. Nila Toga Aya.
Askuni Hande Ijin Aya.
Utchak. Aya.
Saki Aya.
Okay. And then that same person, after announcing who they are, they say, I'm bringing you berries, or whatever food you want. So if you brought blueberries, you would say this, repeat after me. Kanata iris hat chosi in.
Kanata Is Hat Kwasi in.
Sin.
Okay. Or if you brought wild strawberries, repeat after me. Shak iris hat chosi in.
Shaku
Vi.
Is Hat
Kat. Kwa.
Kwasi in.
Okay, good. And if you brought salmon berries, let's practice just the berry name. Repeat these two words after me. What's conchego?
Was an Kegu.
Klegu.
Good job. And then the whole phrase. What's conchego igres hat chosi in.
Was an Kegu Is Hat Kwasi in.
Mm-hmm. Good job. And if you mashed up gray currants and you brought them for someone to eat, mashed up gray currants are these two words. Let's start with just these two and repeat after me. Shach kagotchi.
Shock.
uh,
Uxty.
He.
Okay.
That's a hard one.
Uh-huh. Which part is hard?
The second, the ka go si. He.
Good. Okay, good. Thanks for telling me. So we're feeling challenged by this word, so we're gonna practice just the last sound first. So I have an underline X, which is pronounced in the back of your throat, and then I, and repeat after me. Chi.
He.
Good. Um, this is kind of this X is pronounced in like your snoring zone. So if you're snoring, you're making friction back there. And so let's do it again. Chi.
He.
He.
Good. You're gonna make this underline G in the same area, back of the throat, back of the mouth. And it's a q. So kind of like when you hear ravens, it's that same uvular sound in the back of your throat. And so you're flexing these muscles. And let's start with the underline G. Repeat after me. Otchi.
Gukli.
Uh-huh.
He.
Yep. It's tricky because the TL is now at the front of your mouth. So you're making contact to the back of your throat and then the front of your mouth and then again to the back. So it just takes a little finesse. Let's do just this middle part. Underline G, U, T, L. Repeat after me. Glitch.
Guk.
Good. Again. Glitch.
Good.
Guk.
Oh.
There you go. And let's do the last two syllables. Glitchy.
Good.
Gukli.
He.
There you go. One more time. Glitchy.
Good.
Oh. He.
Gukli.
And then you add a k in front of it and repeat after me. Kaglitchi.
Gukli.
Oh. He.
Good. Again. Kaglitchi.
Kagukli.
Oh. He.
Job. And let's do shach kaglitchi.
Sha. Kagli.
Oh. He.
Good. And then the next part. Iches hat chwesi in.
He
Ite.
is had Swatsi in.
In.
Okay. And the whole phrase. Shach kaglitchi. Iches hat chwesi in.
Shaks. Kotli.
Go
X.
see
Ed.
is
Was.
had
Wasi.
Swatsi in.
Good job. Okay. So I'm going to do a practice run through before we move on to our new lines. Does anybody want to volunteer to be person B? You just have this middle line. I do so.
I can.
Okay, good enough. Sheesh. And I'll be person A. Knock, knock.
Adu soe.
Nila tora aya. Shach kagotchi. Iqesat khosi in. And let's do somebody who wants to be person A. I need a volunteer.
I'll try.
I can do it.
Good. Okay, let's do Tammy first and then Achuni Hande Agent. So Tammy, you'll be person A and go ahead.
Knock, knock.
I do so
Utchak. Aya. Where's my berries? Kanata. Is hat wasin.
good job. Let's do everybody together. This line, repeat after me. Kanata I reshat chwesi in.
Kanata I
Kanata
Eshat
i
Hossein.
in.
Awesome job. Thank you, Tammy. And then Achuni Hande Ijin, go ahead when you're ready.
Knock knock.
Adu so
Huni hande ijin aya. Shak I hat chwasi in.
good job. Any questions? So we're starting to practice the dialogue, filling in the blanks. And today we're going to get started on a couple more lines. And so Elder answers the door. Uh, person A says, I'm bringing you berries. And then the elder, person B, can tell that the young person is getting ready to go somewhere. They kind of look like they're going somewhere. So they ask him, what's happening or what happened? And where are you going? And so this first line, what happened? Uh, repeat after me. Wasa atwune.
Wasa Aune.
Wasa atwuni.
Okay. And then they say, where are you going? Repeat after me. Gude sayani good.
Good.
Kude
Kude
Yeah.
saya
Se
ni gut.
Yane good.
Good. So a little bit more practice with these. Um, repeat after me. Wasa atwune.
Wasa.
Wasa atwuni.
Okay.
Yeah, what happened? The way I translated this was to capture the idea conversationally of what you would say, what happened. Of course, a literal translation, since wasa is a how question, the way to think about this and think it would be how things happened. Wasa atune, for people who like to have a breakdown. But of course, in English, when we're speaking, we say what happened. But how things are happening and what happened, that's what we're asking. So one more time, repeat after me. Wasa atwune.
Wasa atwuni.
Une.
Okay, good. And then where are you going? So again, we have this sa, meaning we know we're being asked a question. And now it's a where question. Gude. So let's do these first two words. Repeat after me. Gude sa.
Kude sa.
Desa.
Good. And the other part means you're going. So one person on foot somewhere, you're going. And these last two words, repeat after me. Ja, ni gut.
Yani good.
Ja ni
Ni
gut.
good.
The whole phrase. Gude se ja ni gut.
Kude Se
Kude
Yani good.
saya ni gut.
Desa ya ni good.
Good. Back to the first one. Wasa atwune.
Wasa Aune.
Wasa atwuni.
Saat une.
Okay, good job. Gude se ja ni gut.
Kude Se Yani good.
Desa ya
Kude
ni
saya
good.
ni gut.
Good. All right. Do I have a volunteer to be person B?
I can try.
All right. So I'll be person A. Knock knock.
Padu sawa.
Nila Toraya. Shach Kagotri. Iresat Khosi in.
Wasa atwuni. Good day, saya ni good.
Good. Okay, really good. Any questions? Okay, let's have a volunteer to be, let's have another person be. Anybody else want to try?
Okay.
Okay. Knock knock.
Adu sawe.
Nila tora aya. Shakwi resat kwasi in.
Wasa atune. Gude saya ne good.
Okay, good job. And let's have somebody be person A. Anybody want to be person A?
I can try.
Okay, go ahead.
Knock knock.
Adu sawa.
Siki aya. Kanata I his hat kwasian.
Wasa atune. Gute sayani. Good. Good job. Any questions? We might add a couple lines about like put the berries here or something to make it a little more natural, but we'll keep fine tuning it as we go. So there's no questions about that. I think you guys sound good. Let's keep it fun. Were there any questions about like foods that you wanted to bring? That, I don't know, something you would normally bring somebody? Because we can add those as we go too.
What about moose nose?
Oh, I love moose nose. I do love moose nose. Do you guys eat that too where you live?
Yes.
Ah,
I have absolutely no idea what it is. First time I hear it. Now I'm
mm-hmm.
curious.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the animal moose?
Yes.
Okay, they moose have these big soft noses. Um, and in our family, traditionally you eat the whole moose, and that includes the nose. And so you can make soup, a moose head soup.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, and then you can cook the nose so that it gets really soft and then slice it almost like you're slicing bread, and it's a really popular potlatch food. Um,
Oh
and it's
wow.
really good. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I don't know if it's in the dictionary. I know how to say moose, I know how to say nose. I would have to guess though if you would put those together in Lingit. Um, just as kind of like a starter point, I would do this is moose. Oops. Shu. Oops. Shu is nose. If you're saying moose meat, let me double check that I'm spelling moose correctly. This, oh, it's a pinched KW. This, okay. Blee. So if it's moose meat, I would say this blee moose meat. And let me see if we have an example. So dli is meat. Um, when you say an animal and then it's meat, it's same order as English. So seal meat would be sa is seal, and then dli is its meat. And there's a fun example sentence here. Sa dli oa I de ach a kwasawu. I'm gonna send you some seal meat. That's kind of fun. Here's another example with the word li. So the meat of an animal. Deer is guacan. Let's practice those ones. Um, so seal meat. Let's do just so that we're in the practice of being creative, like Shirley said, and bringing up things that we want to talk about. Um, Tati would be seal meat. And then let's do also deer meat. Deer meat. Oops. So, guacamole. Guacamole. Guacan. Yeah. We are going to dry deer meat. Guacamole. Gachtusahuk. That's fun. But let's practice a couple of these so that we're practicing different words. So let's start with moose meat. The word for moose, repeat after me. It's this one. Zisk.
Dis
This,
Uh, and then moose meat. Ziskli.
dis
this,
Lee.
li,
Okay. And then we're going to use the same pattern. So if you're talking about animals' meat, you can swap out moose for seal. And seal is this word. Repeat after me. Sa.
Sa.
sa,
Good. So seal meat. Sadli.
Slightly.
sadly,
Okay. And then deer. Repeat after me. Guacan.
Uwakon.
uwakan,
Mm-hmm. And then deer meat. Guacantli.
Guwakon
uwakan,
Lee.
li,
Good. So if I want to say I'm bringing you deer meat, I'm just going to add this for future practice. And let's do, I'll add a picture later, but for now, guacamole is had in. So instead of great currants, we're putting deer meat. And let's practice this part of the phrase again. I'm bringing for you to eat. Repeat after me. is had in.
i, eis, hat, quasi, in,
In.
Uh,
Are
and
we,
the word for deer meat. Huh?
are we having mashed deer meat?
Oh no. Thank
Okay,
you.
okay, good.
Okay, deer meat. Repeat after me. Guacamole.
Guacamole.
uwakan, li,
Good. And then the whole phrase. Guacamole is had in.
uwakan, li, i, eis, hat, quasi, in,
Quasi in.
Uh, okay. Oh, I just see in the chat. My brother recently got a moose in Canada, and the locals were asking to have the nose. We've never had it before. Yeah, that's really good. Saki, I've never cooked moose nose before. Do you know, could you explain how to make it, or have you done that before?
So I haven't personally done it, but my family has, and I believe they singe the nose hairs and then they can then just roast it, I believe.
Mm, yeah, roasting would be good. I've roasted moose intestines before, and that's a really popular one. because you put ground meat inside it with like onions and a little bit of chopped potatoes and a lot of seasonings. And when you roast it, yeah, it gets kind of crispy on the outside and super soft on the inside. That one's good too. Any other foods that you guys wanted to look up together? Awesome. Well, we can keep adding as we go. I think that's a good start. And we have a few minutes left, so let's transition into counting, and then I'll give you a little bit of insight to what we're going to do on Thursday. So, we're just going to do 3 numbers at a time. I like to do drills with a lot of repetition. One thing about counting is the words we're going to use for counting today are for counting things. And when you're counting people, you add another sound to the number. So you use different words for those. But if you're counting things, one is TL, high tone EI, pinch X. And it's repeat after me. Plague.
Hey,
Pig.
Good. And then two, you have an underline X at the end. So you're going to make a little bit different sound. In plague, you have a pinched X, but in two, you have an underline X. So now this X is going to be in the back of your throat and repeat after me. Deeg.
Deeg.
hey,
Good. Back to the top for one. Plague.
Pig.
hey,
Okay. Two. Deeg.
Deeg.
hey,
Good job. And then three, you have a pinched S right before the K. So you're going to make the S really sharp sounding, but then relax on the K. And so repeat after me. Nusk.
Nask.
nas,
Good. Again, nusk.
Nask.
nas,
Good. Um, this one can be a challenge to me because sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm pinching the S, so I'm gonna go ahead and pinch the K too. But you need to avoid that, and it sounds like you guys are making that distinction just fine. Okay, have a good day, Saki. Saki has to go. But let's do a couple more review runs. Repeat after me. Plague.
Pig.
hey,
Deeg.
hey,
Deeg.
Nusk.
nas,
Good. And repeat. Plague.
Pig.
hey,
Deeg.
Deeg.
hey,
And nusk.
Nask.
nask,
Okay. Plague.
Pig.
hey,
Deeg.
Deeg.
hey,
Nusk.
Nask.
nask,
Okay. And for fun, let's you guys do it without me. Ready, go.
Pig.
hey, hey,
Deeg. Nask.
nas,
Pig.
hey,
Deeg.
hey,
Nask.
nask,
Pig. Pig.
hey, hey,
Deeg. Nask.
nask,
Okay. Awesome, really good. I feel proud of you guys. How was that?
Try and remember them.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
The first two
that's
definitely
fun.
started like where I was like, am I doing the end right?
Uh-huh. Yep, good. Awesome. I thought you guys sounded good and you had good memory. And that's powerful. That's super fun. All right, so looking ahead for Thursday, I'll probably let you go a couple minutes early today, but for Thursday, we're gonna add a couple more lines to the knock knock dialogue. So the visitor will say, I have to go to school, and then the host will say, tell me what you're studying. So we'll start getting into that, continue our counting, and then we're gonna transition or start working the formal self-introduction into our dialogue. And I just kind of want to preface that with this message from Shirley. We allow people to introduce themselves in this class as they identify. So there are some parts of Tlingit formal self-introductions where you introduce yourself by honoring your mother's people, your father's people. The words we use are for clans, but they can also indicate your nationality or your tribe. And so we can talk about that. We don't dictate what you guys say or like how you introduce the people that you belong to. Um, but we do have certain lines we use and word choice so that everyone in this class is practicing the pronunciation of those words and like really using the Tlingit language sounds. So that's where Shirley and I do get a little bossy about our word choice, but when it comes to how you introduce yourself personally, we want you to feel comfortable and welcome to do that in your way. So we'll talk about that. There's a lot of nuances to introducing yourself, um, but yeah, we want it to be fun for you. We want you to be learning. And then for people who already know how to introduce themselves, we still need your good support for the new learners. When you participate, you set an example and you make it easier for new people to learn. So just wanted to share that messaging with you. Any other questions or comments before we go? Okay, let's practice this phrase since it's we'll be seeing you again. Repeat after me. Tsuye ik kwasatin.
Suye
Suye ikwasatin.
Good. One more time. Tsuye ik kwasatin.
Suye Kosatin.
Suye ikwasatin.
Ik kwati. Okay. Awesome. I'll see you guys. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you on Thursday.